Hey guys! This is my second time trying to film this because I have been to all over the place. There's so much to go over. But my original idea was I wanted to vlog everything as I was moving here, and that kind of fell apart because I was really inconsistent in filming. So instead I decided to use my vlogging clips and place them over this video as I talk about my experience moving from New York to Utah. Specifically, I went from upstate New York, Rochester, to Salt Lake City, Utah. It's like being in a different country. It's crazy. So first of all, I left Rochester at 4 a.m. on a Saturday 3 weeks ago, and I was exhausted. I've never done that early of a flight in the morning. But the landing and everything was really bumpy to Salt Lake City. Yeah, that all went super smooth though. And then I just did my first week at work. If you didn't know, me and my fiance moved here actually because we both got job offers and such. He got the job offer first, and then I looked for jobs here. And south of Salt Lake City, Lehigh, is called Silicon Slopes because there are so many tech companies here. Really, when I'm at the train station in the morning, every big tech company you can imagine has a building right in front of me. It's insane. I'm not in Lehigh, but I'm towards Lehigh, and it is crazy. I absolutely think that's really cool though. So there is a lot of tech jobs here. If you aren't too familiar with Utah, I guess anyone in the US would pretty much know this, but there's the church called the LDS Church, and they basically are they run this state basically. They're I think they're a branch of Christianity, something like that, but they have some values that make this state very different. For example, there's a lot of coffee places all over New York. The only coffee you're gonna find here is Starbucks or Dutch Bros or some weird mom and pop shop every half an hour, because culturally, for the LDS people, they do not drink coffee. Definitely there's some things that take adjusting for me. I'm a huge coffee drinker. It is definitely more diverse than I thought it would be and such too, which is really cool. It also could be that I'm in the part of Salt Lake City where everyone from out of state moves to. So I'm seeing a lot of people that aren't born and raised in Utah. I would definitely say I actually really like it here. I feel a lot safer here than I did in Rochester. Guards always up, but there's actually a lot of very creative people here and stuff, and I've already found a small community of cosplayers to talk to and stuff. And I actually missed a convention my second weekend here. It turns out near where I worked, there's this one called Anime Town, and they seemed super cool, and I just totally didn't even know about it. We also have Evermore Park here, which is a fantasy theme park. Think about it, it's a year-long Renaissance fair, but it's focused on the fantasy and not the history. And I think that's really cool. People also do have a slight accent here, but I don't think they know that. So I've actually been really liking it here. So we actually got our stuff to our apartment just a few days ago. So we had makeshift furniture for the past week and a half after we stayed at the hotel and whatever. And we just got our stuff. I got these couches and they're super pretty, and I'm really excited to use them for cosplay photo shoots. I loved my old gray one, but we both agreed that we're not settling when it comes to furniture, because now that I'm out of college and we both have our quote-unquote grown-up jobs, we're gonna take the time it takes to get super cute furniture in here. Because to be honest, in the 3 weeks I've had here, I actually really love this area. My only concern would be environmentally. A lot of people are complaining, I don't think some people here know how bad it can be outside of Utah, and it's a little bit comical. So there is a drought here, but there's sprinklers running like crazy outside, so it's not as bad as it could be, but it's still good to be environmentally cautious, because it's been raining once a week at most. I don't know how normal that is, but a lot of people have been complaining about that. I kind of like it because personally in Rochester it was raining literally every day, except 1 or 2 days a week, and it was always gray and cloudy. So I actually feel my serotonin is just here all the time, and I think people are a lot friendlier here. So, but personally I don't really think I'll be trying to get out of here anytime soon. I definitely felt when I was living in New York, the dream was to get out of New York, because I wasn't from the city. There's some people I've talked to here, they're wow, if I lived in New York I'd never move out of New York. Also our paychecks are worth more here because taxation is fixed, I think, and it's not like the same way it is in New York. So it's definitely very different. And I think because it's such a church-run state, like less people drink and stuff due to that. So it's really interesting. I like how it's culturally different. Like personally, I'm not a religious person, but I can appreciate what the church has built around this area because it's created a really nice atmosphere. There's not too many downsides, but a lot of the people that did grow up here, like I moved here during Pride Week, and I had like a few Uber drivers that would just say some stuff like, yeah, can you believe that they're like celebrating those people? Like there's no, I'm like, really guys? So there are some people here though that are definitely like, I don't know, a little bit old-fashioned is like a nice way of saying it. As for some of the nerdier things though, we are still discovering a lot of the nerdier places. We went to an aquarium yesterday, but I plan to have a nerdier weekend next week. Everyone I work with is a D&D player pretty much. And literally when I introduced myself at work, I tried saying, oh yeah, I like to sew in my free time. And people were like, what do you like to sew? I'm like, well, I like costume design. And instantly everyone was like, oh, so you're a cosplayer, cool. I'm like, okay, I wasn't trying to make it obvious. But I really think it's cool because my one boss, his brother, like literally runs like whole fantasy like experiences over weekends where everyone gets a character and whatever and like has to act out that character for like a whole weekend, and like there's some really interesting like things. And I think part of the reason why people are like just everyone is like so geeky here. Like I see so many cars with like Star Wars stuff on them and stuff too on a day-to-day basis. Also, people have like 4 to 8 kids in like every household here. I don't know how people do it, but like kudos to them. But at the same time, I think it's like a really family-friendly culture for that reason. So there's like a lot of really geeky people because when you kind of like remove a lot of the alcohol and add in a lot of children everywhere, people get really into things like D&D because, you know, like you can do it with a family. And because of that, the culture here is pretty cool. That's my little like rant on like, not rant, but like input on how it's been to be in Utah so far. Besides, it is one thing to add on though, it is gorgeous. It is like the mountains here. I will never be getting used to the mountains. It's been a little sad because there's been some wildfires like 30 minutes south of us, so the mountains have been hazy, so you haven't been able to see them as much. But when they are clear, they're like the most gorgeous thing I've seen in my life. And I've had a few people say to me like, oh, you grew up on like the Great Lakes, are you sure this is like prettier than the Great Lakes? And I'm like, yeah, 200%. Like I can't hike on a Great Lake. Like you gotta have money to have a boat and go on the Great Lake. Like you can just drive and park at the base of a mountain and just like walk on a mountain. Like that's great. My plans here are I can't do any cosplay photo shoots this weekend, but I will be keeping up on YouTube from now on because there's a midsummer ball coming up at Evermore Park, and I'll be working on my costume for that. And that is July 2nd. You can expect a work in progress, a video vlog of going there. I will have my fiance with me, and he's like my vlogging buddy. He's so good with the camera at keeping, he's good at following me around with it. Also, FanX is coming up here in September, and that's like Utah's big Comic-Con. And from what I've heard, it's pretty good. And also the train station drops off like right in front of it, so I can just take the train. It's gonna be interesting riding the train in cosplay, but it's really scenic here too, so I will be doing a lot of photo shoots. I do have all my cosplays in my closet. I just have to organize everything onto shelving right now. Otherwise, I can't find any wigs right now and such because they're all in big boxes. Like my craft room is a disaster right now. Like it looks like a tornado went through there. It's pretty bad. Like I said, we're not settling when it comes to furniture, so it's gonna take us a while. It's gonna be a while before we get an apartment tour, probably a couple of months. So yeah, I will be doing, in the meantime though, I will probably do some shoots around the apartment too, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's just like it's a really like photogenic kind of space because of all the lighting and windows, and I have a patio outside, and also this whole like neighborhood is just gorgeous. Like I doubt it would be hard to find a photo spot. We also have a pool that we have access to. Another weird thing about Utah is like, I don't know what it was in New York, but like nobody could swim in the pool unless there was a lifeguard there. Like every pool I've ever been in, unless it was somebody's backyard pool. And here pools just aren't like that, so literally I can just swipe in and go at any time. And I was thinking that could be useful for like cosplay shoots. Go in the earliest I can in the morning and do that. So I doubt anyone would be around to look at it. I am now off my little hiatus, and I'm back making content. And although there won't be new like photos for a little bit, there will be video content coming up and some kind of like my cosplay space kind of content showing around what I'm doing and work in progress. And I'm excited about that. So I will see you guys next week once again, and I'm very happy to be back on YouTube. Thank you for watching.